Hello everybody and welcome back to Forever Motorsports. Joined by myself, Mark and Reece alongside me. We just finished FP1 and Max Verstappen tops the session yet again as is usual for him. But this big surprise, of course, of the day is Alex Albon right up there in second.
Yes, I said during that session before you wrapped up that I was really quite impressed with Alex Albon really driving the wheels off of that car. As we see Théo Pourchaire watching the drivers do some race starts from the sidelines. Unfortunately, disappointing session for him. For that rookie, of course, we had 5 sets of rookies coming into the session in FP1. We had Théo Pourchaire in that Alfa Romeo. Unfortunately, he was not able to set a lap time. We had Frederick Vesti. I think he was in the... Trying to remember, he was in the Mercedes for the session, replacing George Russell. We then had Jack Doohan in the Alpine, replacing Pierre Gasly. Isaac Hadjar in 17th, finishing up there in the AlphaTauri, replacing Yuki Tsunoda. Then we have Fernando Alonso in 16th, not being able to put in a really good lap time. Oliver Behrman really impressing in 15th in that Haas car, only setting his best lap time on a set of hards.
But to be fair to Ollie Berman, just on that note there, I just note the fact that he was going to set what was possibly a low 120s, even maybe could have been one of the quickest lap times out there. Was going really, really fast around the circuit before in the final sector, messing up and unfortunately losing so much time, he had to pretty much give up on his lap. It was very, very upsetting for him. He probably would have put in one of the quickest laps of the day, which really would have made a statement for him. Moving further up though, Reece.
Yes, moving a little bit further up from Oliver Behrman was Logan Sargent in 14th. Then Zhou Guanyu having a relatively alright day in his Alfa Romeo. He had a little bit of issues near the end of that session where we saw his car just having a little bit of work done on his engine side of things. Then we had Nico Hülkenberg finishing in 12th, Lewis Hamilton in 11th, and not the greatest day out there for him, but I think they're doing a lot of testing on those upgraded Mercedes cars. They have newly upgraded side pod inlets as well, with a bit more of a scoop, bit of a different concept to some of the other teams where they have an under scoop where they scoop the air underneath. The Mercedes have an over scoop on their car, so hopefully that will bring them a little bit more pace in this race weekend. Then Stroll in 10th, and Mark will take us through the rest of the top 10.
Indeed, so Stroll was in 10th, so he was quite a bit ahead of his teammate Alonso. But Alonso also, same as Berman, was going on a really, really quick flyer before then messing up in the third sector. And as a result, was all the way down there. So he probably would have gone a lot quicker than Stroll. Ocon in 9th, not too bad for himself there in that Alpine, of course. Ricciardo in 8th, he was going quite quickly throughout the rest of the session. And only dropped down towards the end, pretty much with a couple of those quicker laps being put in right at the end. Sainz in 7th in that Ferrari. He had a few issues, managed to get them sorted out halfway through. Piastri in 6th. Not too bad from the McLaren, of course. Leclerc in 5th. Norris in 4th. The other McLaren driver. It's the home driver for the day. Perez up in 3rd. He did quite well there, but just being edged out, of course, by Alex Albon. A big surprise of the day. Brilliant driving from him in that Williams. That Williams certainly looking very, very good. And Alex Albon once again putting his hand up for a big name seat, of course. Surely he'll be moving soon. And of course, our driver's champion, Max Verstappen, up in first at 119.7.
Yes, a good day out for Max Verstappen yet again. He only does 29 laps throughout the circuit today. The most laps completed were done by Alex Albon with 31 laps.
No, it wasn't. But by Piastri, 32 laps.
Okay, sorry, I didn't see Piastri. I did just skim read through there. Just seeing a few more replays of Théo Pourchaire here. Really, really disappointed for him. I know we have touched on him already. But just speaking a little bit about, I think maybe the likes of Logan Sargent, who isn't necessarily far away from the rest of those rookies. I think that says a bit about that.
It's a very good point to bring up. The fact that Logan Sargent, a 121.3... 121.1 to be fair to him. Ollie Berman though, a 121.3. So in a very experienced car, a very experienced driver in a car that can definitely show the pace. Albon up in second, Sargent down in 14th.
Of
those
course,
rookies right around him.
First Formula One season, but he has been in that car for the entire season. The rest of these rookies in this session have only been in it for this session at all.
It's their first time in the F1 cars. So. Yeah, but big question marks over Logan Sargent. People can go and argue, but Alonso and, Alonso only. Alonso's in and amongst them, yes, but Alonso was going to put in one of the quickest laps of the day before he made a bit of a mess up, and he had issues with his car throughout almost the entire session. Logan Sargent didn't have a single issue the entire session. He had the entire time to put in any times that he wanted, and still right down there near those rookies. Same as Zhou, though. Zhou also a little bit slow there, 121.1, but you know, we know what Zhou can do. Zhou's shown his class at times, so not too concerned about him. But Logan Sargent, once again, really pretty much the worst of the grid.
Yes, be sure to let us know in the comment section who your standout driver was for that session. I certainly think mine would have been Alex Albon up in P2 in that Williams, really driving the wheels off that car once again. Really impressive.
Yeah, so a question for the weekend, quite an interesting one, of course, knowing who finishes first. Who do you think finishes second this weekend, Reece? Based off of that session?
Wow. Based off of that session, Alex Albon. I think that's a bit of a shout for Sunday, but they found some pace here already. I wonder if they may be testing some stuff for 2024.
Well, I think, you know what, funny enough, because Mercedes always do this, the first session they usually use as race simulations, they usually get that right. I'm backing probably Mercedes to do quite well this weekend.
Well, I think with Alex Albon doing quite well with the same engine as them, that could give a good indicator.
That's exactly my sort of thought. So I was just thinking Mercedes are doing race simulations, haven't really tried to go around quickly yet. And Alex Albon has, of course, got a Mercedes engine in that Williams. I think we could probably see Mercedes do very well. Hamilton could be in for what would have been another podium because he got his first podium in ages, of course, and then didn't because he got disqualified in the last race. I'm sure he will make the podium this weekend, though, in that Mercedes. Lots of replays of Alex Albon. He was brilliant today. Great to see that, of course. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for joining us here on Forever Motorsports. You've been watching this FP1 review with myself, Mark, and Reece alongside me. Be sure to smash that the like button and the subscribe button.
Getting very close now to 2,000 subscribers on this channel, so do be sure to subscribe if you are not already. But as Mark said already, thank you very much for joining us here on Forever Motorsports. I've been